Welcome back to Barbershop Talking Randomish. I am your master barber, fadeologist himself, the greatest in. Oh, okay, I'm going too far now. I'm feeling myself. I got to feel myself a little bit on that one, boy.
Boy, he just wide open in the second hour, man. There's something about that second hour.
If you done got good to me. But y'all, welcome back in the Barbershop Talking Randomish. Y'all see Chair 1, the scapologist himself, is not here with us. He got the cooties. Circle, dot. He forgot to take his cootie shot. Yes, sir. So, y'all.
Well, I forgot all about it. It took me a minute. You took me way back. It took me way back.
Wow.
What a circle, dot. Oh my God.
You gotta
get your cootie shot.
Oh my. Talk about the apple today, keep the doctor away. You better take that cootie shot.
Forget that apple.
Forget the apple. Do both.
But in the building tonight, we got our sister in the building. She represents the sororities of the Divine Nine, the sister of Delta Sigma Theta. Miss Lakeisha Bolton is in the building. How you doing, ma'am?
I am well.
And on the brother's side of the Divine Nine of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, we got Mr. Jeffrey Mack in the building. What's good with you, my brother?
What's going on, yo?
Hey, man, we sitting around having a good conversation, man, about the unfortunate death at Southern University. And I, of course, forgot the young man's name because I can't see it. Caleb Wilson, who unfortunately about a month or so ago, he passed due to a hazing incident while he was pledging Omega Psi Phi. Now, anybody hearing this, I don't want y'all to think or believe that the Divine Nine are the only people that having these problems. The other frats and sororities on the white side have the same problems. If you look it up, when I pulled it up on the Wikipedia, my God,
the Wikipedia, it went on and on
about hazing incidents, hazing deaths. So this is not just a black problem, but the reason why we're talking about it, because the way we're talking about it with the Divine Nine is because we are black. These are our brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews that are potentially losing their life unnecessarily.
Right.
And we just want to keep, our babies safe, man. When we as parents send our babies to school, that is the last thing we expect to get a phone call saying they lost their life for some mess.
Right.
Putting on these letters, pledging it is a privilege. It is something that a lot of us want to do and have a desire to do. But to lose your life because you want to put on a letter, nah, shout it. That's not a game that any of us should be playing. And but I want to ask Jeff and Keisha, is there a difference between pledging undergrad and doing it
grad chapter?
What's the major difference, and is there a respect level thing? Is that a thing also? Does that cause problems?
Okay, so I'm going to speak to the difference for my organization, because I can't speak for anybody other one, but there's only one way to Delta. So there's that. Be it grad or undergrad, there's only one way to Delta. So
okay,
that's my answer. Now, as far as, I'll let Jeff answer his, but I can't speak to anybody else. But
okay. How about Jeff?
Yes, you got the same ritual, whether it's undergrad or grad. Of course, younger guys going to do it differently. And right now, because of that, that's why with the Divine Nine, you have the alumni chapter supervising the undergrad chapter to make sure they don't do things their way, to do it the right way. And like I said, once you cross that line that burning sand, you got the same rights and privilege as a undergrad or a grad chapter member.
Okay.
But respect is always going to come in with the individual. There's always going to be, I'm just going to put it like this, there's some brothers that cross the line of Kappa Alpha Psi that are gay, and some brothers don't like that. So, but we can't discriminate.
Right.
But there are some brothers that have crossed line that is gay, and they don't get the same respect for a brother who may play football or a brother who, big and can take care of himself. So, it's a thin line in every way you look at it. And it's always come back to the individual that you talking to. There's always going to be a brother when they get in front of, we got a fraternity house here, and we have events at the house, and you'd be surprised when we're there how some brothers trying to show up when there are AKAs in the house, there are Deltas in the house, Zetas in the house. They just show out, and unless you go back to what I said in the beginning, they didn't play as Kappa players them.
Right.
And they just can't get over the fact that, hey, I got my butt whooped, he didn't, and so he's not a true Kappa. What makes a true Kappa? What makes a true Delta? I think it's the brotherhood that you show one another, not just pledging. I think if you can't show me no love as a brother or a sister, how can you call me your brother when you don't love me? You don't feel anything for me, So it doesn't matter whether you're a Kappa or a Q or Zeta or Delta. If you can't show love to a guy who represents your family, we have in our family. We got some family members that are knucklehead, but can't nobody else mess with them.
Right.
We might not get along. You might not invite them to your house, but you love them.
Yeah.
You can't pick your family.
Right.
And right now, when you play it, once they play it, they're a member. That's your brother. It's like getting married. My son, I married a young lady. I gotta accept her for who she is. It might be somebody I didn't choose for her, but he chose her.
Yeah.
So I need to respect her for who she is.
Right.
And I think that need to go the same way with any fraternity and sorority. Once that brother is in, you got to accept them for who they are. And give them the same respect you would want.
If you see a brother or sister doing, and they ain't right for the organization, but say they got they uncle so and so is higher up in the organization, how do things like that work? Or do things like that work like that? Like I say, I'm not part. I wasn't privy. So
Okay.
does things like that happen that that somebody shouldn't be because they are not right for it?
Brother King, I want to say this. I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
Let me give me an opportunity to answer this question, and I gotta go.
Okay. You gonna roll them shoulders when you leave?
I had a brother who plays in 1988, and which means if he played this in 1988, he got to be in his 50s.
Yes.
And he this past fall came to Athens and came on the yard and showed out. Got arrested. And when he got arrested, the brother said, "Get Jeff Mack a call because you're gonna go through him." So I'm trying to help this brother who I pulled the video, I watched the video. He was charged with indecent exposure and
he showed out.
disorder of conduct.
And he too old to be putting that thing out.
That's what I'm going with.
Yes, sir.
Right. Exactly.
So you got charged with indecent exposure, disorder of conduct, and public drunkenness. And so the young ladies who he was showing his stuff to couldn't be no more than 18,
Oh,
19,
no.
Not the
20 years
babies.
old.
You know, we got there flashing the babies.
He pulled that whole thing out in front of them babies.
And so you know, they didn't want to be. They wanted justice then. They just wanted him away from them. So
Yeah.
they called the police, but they didn't want to give their name. They didn't want to testify. So by law, with them not testifying about the indecent exposure, he can't be. Well, we can't prosecute that case. So I told him, I said, well, I'm gonna dismiss that case. But as for the drunkenness and disorderly conduct, I watched the video. If I was that officer, I would slap the shit out you.
Yes, sir.
Because you're totally disrespectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as we talking with my brother, you know, getting everything out, and I'm telling him, he said, well, you know, and this is the truth. This is true. He gonna say, man, I drank too much. I said, I know. He said, but I'm gonna stop drinking liquor and just drink wine and beer. I said, it's the same.
The same thing.
Yeah. And so, you know, he got to the point, you know, we dismissed the indecent exposure, and then he want to come back and say, man, I need to dismiss the disorderly conduct where the officer talked to me. So that pissed me off, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you deserve that, you know. And let me know what, you know. I go back and look at all the things he had did over 30 years that I had been a member cap outside, and I'm like, fuck you, you know. So I don't respect him as a captain anymore. And I went to the meeting and I told the bros what happened, and they laughed and they agreed. I said I wanted acknowledgement, you know, because he wanted to, you know. I'm 50 years old. What I did when I was in college, I had fun.
Yes, sir.
My fun is over with, man. It's
Yes,
over.
Yes, sir.
When I go back on the yard and under visit South Carolina State, or when my kids are in college, I act like as a parent, man.
Yes,
I
sir.
enjoy. When I do the stroll, when I roll my show,
Yes, sir.
I'm around my family.
So you ain't strolling. Hold up, Jeff. You telling me you got on that cream and red? You got that cane in your hand? You don't shimmy now time?
I do it. I mean, it's fun. It ain't.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm with
Absolutely.
my family, and
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
trying to show out. It's with my family, but I'm not trying to take over the show.
Absolutely.
But these, you know, these guys are still trying to live that life.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You coach youth football.
Yes.
You see them guys who playing through their kids.
Yes, absolutely.
You see it.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
You see it, man. Once you become a man, become an adult, and become mature, you got to act mature.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I
When
think
I
he
was a
said
child, I act like a child. When I became a man, I got to act like a man.
Yes, sir.
he don't stroll indecently.
He'll be low. He'll be as low. He'll get low. He'll don't get as low as you used to.
And the first thing I did now, man, I want my family. I said, you should have thought about it before you pull your dick out, man.
Absolutely.
But it's everybody's fault but he.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what you see, because when you pledge, when you go to the entrance meeting, the first information you get, it talk about hazing. It talk about what the law is in that state, in that county, what you can and cannot do.
Right.
Okay.
And you choose to do it. You chose to get drunk. You chose to pull your penis out, and you chose to show your ass.
Yes,
Or
sir.
you chose
Jeff still
to
mad.
hit somebody else.
He hot.
Yes, sir.
Still hot.
I mean, I don't like, right,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I sure hope Jeff don't see this old brother no time soon.
we had just last 2 weeks ago, the Zeta Older Chapter just went over. We had where they had the probate show came out, which is after the fact they crossed the line. The probate come after that, and they came out about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was there to make sure that brother didn't come and create havoc and cause problems.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you couldn't even get your shimmy on.
Stay where you at.
Yes, sir. Hey, Jeff, man, we definitely appreciate you, man, for coming on and having this conversation with us. I definitely want to get you back in the barbershop so we can talk about what you do every day.
No problem.
Because you being a police officer, me being a black man, we ain't supposed to like you. And I think that's a conversation that need to be had between our community and what you do for a living, so that we can try to bridge this gap to the mess that's going on between us and the police officer.
No problem. Anytime, brother. I'm available. Anytime you let me know.
All right, my brother.
I'll make the arrangements.
All right, my brother. Will you enjoy the rest of your evening?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank what y'all doing and keep doing what you're doing, man, because getting the information out there is what we need in this community.
All right. Thank you, my brother. And
Appreciate it, cousin.
please share it. Please share it. Please share it. Yes, sir. Y'all have a good evening, my brother.
Y'all take care, fellas, and you too, Miss Bowles.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So, man, Bolden, you ain't strolling no more?
I do my thing.
Oh, okay.
But to answer your question about membership,
Yes, good.
Deltas, we do not have legacy. So some organizations do, but Delta does not recognize legacy. So I don't care if your grandma was a founder. You still got to go through everything, and you may or may not.
Tell the people what legacy is.
Yeah.
Okay.
What legacy is.
So a legacy, it means that mother, if you're a sorority, of course, your mom, grandmother, I think aunt. I have to think of the list because we don't have them. So
a blood relative.
it's specific. Maybe an aunt or foster mother or whatever that qualifies you to get legacy status. Delta Sigma Theta does not recognize legacies, but of course, like if your mother was a Delta, then you would be considered a legacy if you make the line. But some organizations, it's a path to get in.
Okay.
So that path, again, mine doesn't have it, but my understanding is either you can choose to go that way or you can choose not to. Sometimes legacies are frowned upon because people look at like
Paper.
or you only got in because of who your people are or whatever. So to answer your question about people that do not meet the standard or your standard, and again, everybody has to be quote unquote vouched for. So
Yes.
me personally, if I can't vouch for you, I'm not. I don't care who you are. But of course, you can always find somebody who will. But I always wonder when these situations, such as what happened to Caleb, happen. Like, who vouched for these people to come into this organization? Because your character is your character.
Absolutely.
And again, like Jeff kept saying, like some people, when they get those letters, they were lame before they got the letters, and the letter just made them. And so everything in your fiber of your being is being a member of this organization, but outside of that, you're not really much. And I feel like that is the psychology behind some of these people coming back and doing these crazy things. Like the man that Jeff just described, like he seems like a very immature 50-something year old, and he probably was a very immature 20-something year old or a teenager, however old he was when he came in, and that person is going to be who they be.
Absolutely.
But it then makes you question, well, who vouched for you to get these letters in the first place? That you still around here acting a fool at that big old age.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Can we get the hazing completely out of the frats and sororities?
Technically, it's out of the frats and sorority, but changing people's mindset, it's just like with anything else. You can't legislate people's feelings.
Absolutely.
So people gonna feel like it's valid and it's necessary, and that's why they keep on doing it.
When you said vouch, well, you can find somebody to vouch for you. Is there certain ways that these organizations can make changes so far as people can vouch for, so we won't have these knuckleheads 51 years old out there, showing this thing to 18 years old?
I know.
Just the vouch. Could you explain the vouch process? What exactly does that
Well,
mean?
you have to have someone that basically sponsors you, or someone that is already a member, basically putting their name out there to say, hey, this person is a good candidate to become a member of this organization.
Okay.
I don't know what else you can do because people lie.
Absolutely.
I mean, people will write letters or vouch for people that they don't even know. just because, and so that's how some of these people get. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, that's how they get in. You find somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I write a letter for them or whatever. Hopefully they'll be good, but I don't do that if I don't know you and if I don't know you in a favorable light, like I've seen you do the community service, I see you do the work, then yes, I will write a letter, and I've not written many at all. I can count on one hand how many letters I've written, and then I still have some fingers. But when I write letters, though, I don't just write the letter and then throw them to the wolves. If they do make the line and they cross, I'm the person that guides them through membership and what it really means on the other side. So that's important to me, because
if your young boys want to go down this road and become, how do you feel about that?
Well, my boys are legacies, and Alpha Phi Alpha. So they are legacies.
Yes.
But yeah, absolutely. Now, like I said, I'm about to have 2 college age students in school, and so I would trust them to do that, because again, they have 2 parents that are members of the Divine Nine, so they've been raised in it. And they understand what's right and what's wrong. Mm-hmm. And so, I would definitely love to see my children pursue, because there's a lot of great things. Like I said, that is how you get in. Yeah. Like, we spend so much. Unfortunately, the negative press of how they just get into the organization, it just supersedes all the good work and the things that,
But it's a lot of networking.
It is. It's a lot of networking and a lot of power in those organizations. So they do have purpose.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's stop talking about the negative tonight. We done with the negative. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the good things, some of the positive things. Because it's a funny story. He talking about Jeff was talking about the house, and I remember growing up.
You're seeing that house over there,
but I didn't know what the house was. I thought it was just who is Kay? I wanted to know who Kay was. I didn't know. I'm growing up. I didn't know. I was to school age. I ain't know nothing about no friends. So growing up, because barbershop went to the barbershop over there. So I was like, man, who is Kay? And then. It's funnier than that, my next door neighbors became some alphas. I mean, not alphas, but some kappas. Yeah. So that was the, in fact, though, Kappa house. So I got to know those guys, and growing up and knowing them, and I almost said, forget alpha. Boy, I was down there in Daytona one day, and them boys out there spinning that cane and like that shimmy, and them girls was. I called Hal. I said, Hal, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this alpha life. These Kappas down here got these. He said, come on, buddy. That's when he took me and showed me a whole another world of what they doing, what they got going on, and it wasn't just about the shimmy. But but yes, let's talk about some of the good things that the Divine Nine does.
Well, the Divine Nine have had a lot of hand in forward movement of African American life.
Absolutely.
My founders participated in the suffragette march, like right after they founded the organization, and so they've been about service from the beginning. So in 1913, those 22 black women were marching alongside the white suffragettes in that suffragette movement. And of course, politically, Deltas are everywhere. Everybody loves Jasmine Crockett to this day, and you know her outspokenness, but she is a member of Delta Sigma Theta.
How could you not like her?
Of course, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, well. But yes, so that is, we have a lot of footing, and we do a lot of service work, and all the way back to, when rural South was very segregated and things weren't you know, black people didn't have access to things, that these Divine Nine organizations were there, and they were providing things for our people in the times that, you know, there was no social media, there was no recognition. You just really didn't know what was going on based on, you got your information about what people needed from your chapter members. And so that's why the membership was so important, is because, let's say I am at a Howard University, but I'm from the Deep South, and I might have a line sister that's from New York and that's not abreast to what's going on in the South. Well, I'm going to educate you, and let's go down there and let's do some service. That was the type of grassroots things that all of our organizations were founded on. We always had our people in mind, first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Black people are first and foremost in all of our organizations. We put them first. Okay. And our work puts us first. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that we have to keep in the forefront of our minds, is why we're important. Because we need each other more so ever today than we ever needed each
Absolutely.
other. And so those organizations, with their networking, with their power, with them being in rooms that, you know, everybody's not privy to get into, that's where, you know, outside of the negative, that's where we're still impactful. And we have to continue to be in the place that we can be an impact, because when we're gone, you know, people don't miss things until they're gone. And, you know, people have their opinions about Greek letter organizations. You know, it's part of the black bourgeoisie and all these different things. But there's been good work that's been done through these organizations.
Absolutely. 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 Well, I mean, we thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me.
For pulling up. You do know that you are always welcome in this here barbershop. And I see what you're doing with your social media.
Yeah. And
in a few minutes, I'm finna start this relationship series.
Oh, Lord. Well, friend, you know, I got opinions.
I know. I have seen some of your opinions. and I'm definitely going to want you to be part of some of these conversations, because this, again, is what we have to do. We have to talk as men and women, so we can try to understand each other better. Because we damn sure ain't going to understand each other fully. But we can get a slight understanding. I don't know why you looked at me like that then.
A better understanding.
Well, you know, I feel like black love is a revolutionary act.
Amen.
So we have to make sure we preserve that.
Amen. Amen.
So if the conversation needs to be had,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how is the young man up at Morehouse? How's he doing up there?
He is wonderful. He was texting my phone and called me today. Of course, he is doing his thing with journalism.
I see.
He is a journalist that started in this room.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important. That's why it's so important for people to give, because of that exact reason. Yes, ma'am.
He is now a member of the National Association for Black Journalists.
All right.
So he is in those rooms doing his thing. He just came back from South by Southwest, working that. He just got invited. He called me. He was invited to some organization to go and work. So he does have his own media company, him and his brother, that they are just traveling around. They went up to Howard. He also writes for the Maroon Tiger. Okay. He also is interning and writing for the Atlanta, the Atlanta Black Star, one of the newspapers in Atlanta. So he's a freelance journalist there, where they pay him to do stories and photography. And so he is living his journalistic dream while matriculating at Morehouse College.
Hey, man. Boy.
Shout out your son's name.
Fredrell Green II.
Yes. Yes, sir. Hey, man, they're definitely proud of him. And like I say, with him being, like I say, a product of this particular room.
He is a product of this room, a product of Athens, Georgia, a product of Cedar Shores High
School. Woo!
And
East Side.
And he loves this place. He's sitting here texting me 2 days ago about Dr. Hooker retiring, and I was like, son, yeah, it's time for him to go, but don't worry about this place. You do your thing.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And definitely gonna keep him in our prayers and everything. Hey, you got something for him, man?
I got something. I found some.
Okay, well, let me. You know I gotta pull up.
Pull up the thing.
Let me pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I gotta pull it up.
We know.
I don't know why he read it every Thursday. Osmosis, he should know it by now.
I promise you I should.
I think I know it by now.
You probably. That's the crazy
For a word that we live.
No, so no, see that.
They are.
No. But yeah, we gonna get ready to get on up out of here. Like I said, I want to thank Miss Bolton, Mr. Mack for joining us in the barbershop. If you are listening to our voices, please like, subscribe, and share with someone because these conversations are important to our community. And it's important to their community too because we are them. Yep. But this game called life is a series of moments. The past is just that. The past, learn from it and be thankful for it. The future, prepare for it. It is coming. Let's get to the next one. The present, it is a gift. Enjoy the journey. Take pictures. But most of all, thank God. Hey, let me get something.
My day ones. This poem is dedicated to all the day ones. To the Rogers and Dwaynes, their main man rerun. To the Lamonts and Rollos from Sanford and Son. To the friends who stand 10 toes down and never will run. To the Charlottes, the Mirandas, Samanthas, and Carries. To the Thelmas and Louises. The list, it just varies. This is for the real ones like Max and Khadijah, or Kyle and Overton, Sinclair and Regina. To those from the start who chose not to leave. To those who have faith and always believe. And somehow in us see what we cannot see. And remind us that we can be more than what stands before thee. To Boomer, A-Dog, to Nick, Top Cat, to Shay, Sean, and Butter. Thanks for having my back. Through years of depression and moments of doubt. Not once did y'all leave me, not once did y'all bounce. For the calls out of the blue when my world was crashing. For the words of encouragement without me even asking. For the rope that you sent when I was down the rabbit hole. For the light you provided when I couldn't see where to go. Through death and through life they stood by my side. Through joy and through pain, forsaking their own pride. Just to make sure that I was doing all right. Just to make sure that I could still stand up and fight. Just to make sure that I saw another day. Just to make sure that I was simply okay. Salute to my day ones. Salute to my friends. Salute to my family who is here to the end. Salute to my day ones who weathered the tide. If not for my day ones, I'm probably not alive. This is dedicated to my day ones in life and in truth. Thank you for always being there. And from my heart, I salute.
Sigh, 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 and more sigh. Hey, y'all, it's time to sweep the floors, clean the clippers. Boy, that was so good. We might not clean the bathroom tonight.
I got the bathroom.
Oh, you got the bathroom? Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
We're going to make sure the bathroom.
Okay, we're going to make sure the bathroom clean. Hey, y'all, the shop is closed.